Mademba.
And I am Mamadou Diallo. Coming up this week on the program, authorities at the University of the Gambia reflect on the works of a renowned Gambian writer as part of events marking the 5th edition of Gambian Literature Day.
What I do know is that to dialogue with a dead man, Salah says you have to die somehow.
And we review and speak to the experts on the tangible and intangible aspects of our cultural heritage.
If you speak of infrastructure during the colonial period, it was self-serving. For example, they had bungalows like this on the Marina Parade by the seafront, where the colonial officials would stay.
And a popular and mesmerizing Nigerian actor comes to town. Weekend Spectrum speaks to the man who describes himself as a hermit.
My personal friends and my family, people that have been close to me, will tell you that I live like a hermit, so to speak. I'm completely that person that it's away from everything that has to do with the camera as soon as it ends.
We'll be back with these and other stories right after this.
Words of inspiration.
I really want to go back home and try to follow my dad's footsteps.
Events that shape our perspectives.
I always say this, Gambia will never stop having peace.
Translating dreams into reality.
The rights and opportunities of all women and girls deserve our attention and our support.
On Weekend Spectrum, we try to follow spectrum of stories focusing on human interest angle and make you wonder what's next.
Well, 8 books, that's a huge collection.
Every weekend at this time on Grts.
Well, he has so far written 8 books and there is no sign that he will stop anytime soon. For Tijan Salah, writing is not child's play. As part of lineup of events marking Gambian Literature Day, which was celebrated in creative style at the University of the Gambia, this report takes a closer look at the background of the man who was the focus of this year's Literature Day.
What I do know is that to dialogue with a dead man, Salah says you have to die somehow. Learn the language of death or keep communion with the dead. And in this our age so obsessed with youthful living, death is a word obscene. Yes, but to communicate with his dead grandfather, Salah says he has to speak the language of death. So for us, it is not ancestor worship, it is not Kafirism, it is reaching out to our essence. It is reaching out to who we are, what we were in the past before us. And you will not enjoy that, you will not have the opportunity to enjoy that beauty of language and presence if you close this book. Coraline, if you pass it by, if you don't buy it, if you don't open it, you cannot enter into the mind of Salah as he talks to his dead grandfather.
Well, Mo, it is indeed. And to find that we have Gambia Literature Day, that is quite impressive. Now that goes to show you that writing in the Gambia is taking a huge stage.
Yeah, because now this is the 5th edition of Gambia Literature Day, and Tijan Salah is one of the most prolific writers. More or less, he is our Wally Soyinka, because he's written on various subjects. I think this shows, as you've said, this goes to show that Gambian writers are also carving a niche for themselves.
Yes, indeed, and we have seen a lot of upcoming Gambian writers. He is often portrayed as a playboy depicting canny and sometimes unforgiving characters. However, the Nigerian actor Jim Ike, who has established a niche for himself in the drama industry, said people need to understand that it is business for him when he's on set. Ibrahima Balde reports on the visit of the Nigerian actor in the Gambia.
The students had already taken their places, waiting in calm anticipation for the man who many describe as a supermodel. Nigerian actor Jimmy Ike, who is on a brief visit to the Gambia as part of his ambassadorial role from the United Nations to promote free education for girls in Africa. He said he was overwhelmed with the colorful welcome given to him. Descending on the university chancery in Banjul, Jimmy Ike, who had interacted with Professor Muhammad Carr during his time at the American University in Yola, Nigeria, said his visit to the University of the Gambia was meant to spur the students to work harder. The Vice Chancellor explained how he had attempted to bring the popular Nigerian actor to his former university. He used the opportunity to present Jimmy Ike with promotional materials on the university. A photo opportunity with members of Jimmy Ike's group and his host in the Gambia, George Gomez, followed afterwards. In his brief yet symbolic meeting with students and members of the Performing Arts Club, University of the Gambia, Jim Ike told the students to work towards bettering their lot and serve their countries after graduation. He said the students must decide what they want and they must work tirelessly to actualize their dreams.
You're the future, and therefore you're the most important part of not only the economy or the politics, but I think one way or the other, the strength and character of this nation. There are certain events that I dare say are inevitable in this life, really.
The president of the Performing Arts Club, Bakari Sane, disclosed that the club's meeting with Jim Ike could herald brighter prospects for the university. The Dean School of Arts and Sciences, Dr. Pierre Gomez, said it was time the students took drama seriously, arguing that the likes of Jimmy Ike is a testament to the fanfare that is linked to acting. Grace Chapman, the coordinator of the Performing Arts Club, disclosed the various steps taken by the UTG to strengthen and develop theater arts at the university.
Right now, we're working on The Gods Are Not to Blame, and we had a cultural, traditional weddings program about a month ago, which was a success. We also presented today a poem that was dramatized, and the poem was written by Tijan Sala, who is a Gambian. And yesterday we presented 4 poems, and they were all dramatic presentations by the students.
George Gomez said Jimmy Ike's visit comes at a time when he was recently appointed to head a committee that is expected to, among other things, regulate the fledgling film industry in the Gambia.
There is need to have an arts club in the university. Most of the actors that we would expect to develop the film industry in the Gambia, we expect to come from the university, as it is done in Nigeria. Because most of the actors in Nigeria are also from the university, as you are. So you have a great opportunity at this early stage of your arts club to have met a renowned African who has a lot of following in the Gambia, to be with you, to give you a word of encouragement.
Popular Nigerian actor, who is often portrayed as a playboy in several films, said he is entirely a different man when it comes to real-life situations.
People forget that this that you play this so well. They begin to think that there's something in you that is part of that character, but no, that's not what it is. My personal friends and my family, people that have been close to me, will tell you that I live like a hermit, so to speak. I'm completely that person that it's away from everything that has to do with the camera as soon as it ends. I don't live the life that I depict in films, and it's counterproductive. And I'm a very progressive, very productive, very positive person, and not in any way has any semblance with the characters that I play. So it's just, you know, I think people need to understand that a job is a job and it has no place in your everyday life.
So what was the motive of his visit to the Gambia?
I represent an organization called ACTDF, African Children Talent Discovery Foundation. I'm the ambassador as well as a UN ambassador as well, because they've been mandated by the UN to raise 40 kids across the continent for free education. We've been traveling the width and breadth of the continent to raise these kids. It was a turn of the Gambia to come out here, find young men and women of great talent, of aspirations, and great ambassadors of this great land that we can take out to the convention that's happening sometime in August and sponsor them to the highest point of their dreams.
Even though his visit was brief, the UTG students relished at the fact that they have met in the flesh a character they are so passionate about on the screen. Ibrahima Balde,